179.
Panic attack. Oh God, topic 1 is panic attack.
Oh, you thought I was gonna ease you in?
Welcome to the Baby Lambs Podcast. 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 Welcome to the Baby Lambs Podcast.
Hi,
I'm Ashley.
I'm Lisette, and we are the Baby Lambs Podcast.
Hello. Wow.
Hello,
Hello. Are you there?
it's me, Margaret.
Does that mean I'm God?
I guess so. You kind of sound like God right now.
Well, God is a woman, as
Yes.
they say.
Yeah.
Hey. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Baby Lambs Podcast. I'm Ashley.
I'm Lisette. We're glad to have you.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. It's been a bit.
It's been a lot
Uh-huh.
on all sides.
All sides.
About me, it's just been very easy. Oh my God, very easy. Wow.
What a lead up to to the stroll that is your week.
No, it has not been easy at all. Experienced a wild array of adversities through work, and a thing I'm going to talk about a little bit later on, which is the luteal phase. And just, life be lifing. There was also a moment where I contemplated bringing back the buzz cut, and then I remembered I got these beautiful highlights, and there's no way I'm going to do that again, okay? I said I contemplated it. I didn't do anything. But did I look at the zzz and think to myself, zzz, zzz? Maybe.
I'm proud of you. You're strong.
Yeah. I just didn't want to have to deal with all of you giving me a hard time about it. So I didn't do it.
Well.
Oh, I just breathed right into this microphone. Anyway, how you doing?
Better. Better, but it was not a good week for me. So I had my first anxiety and panic attack
Cue the
last
applause.
week. How fun. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you all so much thank you so much for your support. No, but in truth, it was it was a very terrifying moment of being out of control in my own body, and I wasn't ready for that. And I'm still very much feeling the effects of all of that. Basically, I took myself to the hospital because I was really convinced I was having a heart attack. Which is actually probably the most common way that people identify that they have panic attacks, because they're so similar in the way that they feel. And in so experiencing, I learned that I had a large amount of anxiety that I wasn't really taking care of. And it, continued after that, because, when you have I guess an anxiety attack that leads into a panic attack, it can kind of cycle over and over and over, and I experienced that. And it was very scary and very debilitating, and it felt like it was awful. It was really awful. But I was very, very, very fortunate to have such a good community of people around me, and I had, some really good friends I could reach out to and who could answer some questions for me that I didn't really know how to explain, and who were able to explain to me what was going on in my body, and were able to connect me to people that could help. So I have already met with my doctor. I've met with a psychiatrist, and the psychologist all in like a week, which is huge. And I am currently on prescription meds to try to like give my brain and body an opportunity to relax enough to be able to address what it is that is making me so anxious in talk therapy. So I really wanted to talk about this today, not because it doesn't absolutely make me very anxious to do so. Again, I'm highly medicated, so it helps. But it something that I thought about while I've been in this journey, the fact that I've been able to like reach out to people who I know have had similar experiences. The first thing is that it seems very, very common, much more common than I think people are willing to talk about. Because like opening up about it to like my mom and to my doctors and even to like people that I work with, they're all like, oh yeah, that happened to me too. And it could obviously be a part of my age. It could be a part of my age plus being a mom and, you know, everything that comes along with it. It seems like it's a very common occurrence, especially it's in men and women, but in this case, in women, at least in, you know, the surprising amount of people who've come to me and told me what they've experienced. So I definitely feel a lot less alone in the way that I've been in, you know, feeling and going through this. But it is something that I feel like I knew about them. Like I knew what a panic attack was in theory. I know from hearing on television. I mean, I saw The Pit. I've seen all those shows. I've seen them manifest on television, and even in talking to people, the very people that I talked to as I was going through them, and I knew, oh, they can feel like a heart attack. They feel like this, but in the moment that I was like, I have to go to the hospital, it didn't even cross my mind once that it was a panic attack at all. That's how panicked I was. And I think that there is power in knowledge, and I think there's power in awareness as well. I mean, I'm very fortunate and very lucky that, you know, I'm fortunate in a lot of ways, like more ways than I can count, and I know that that's not usually the case for people. Something that kept coming up for me was if the drugs don't prevent me from doing so, I might cry. I don't know how anyone does this alone. I think that if I hadn't had people in my corner who were able to explain the science and like put into perspective like what was circulating in my body and like make me feel like I wasn't crazy, because I felt legitimately like I lost the plot. You need to like put me in a padded cell. I felt crazy. I felt like I outside of my body, and I've never felt that way. I don't know how people are able to just do this in life without any help. Like I think about like students or like people who like come from other states and they go to school, or people who are unhoused, or, you know, like I know that there are resources, you know, we have social workers, we have, you know, there's government programs and such, but to have somebody that I could confide in, that could explain to me like, no, this physiological effect is a product of this, that really, I needed that. I needed somebody to explain like what hormones are pumping through me, where they're coming from, what they're trying to say, why my body is changing temperature, why, you know, why my heart wants to explode from my chest, and, you know, like validate that I'm not gonna die, because that's what it really felt like. I felt like I was gonna die, and it felt like that a few times this past week. It was very scary. It remains to be like a big mystery because it's only been a week and I've only been medicated for like 3 days. This is my third day.
Hey.
So I'm very hopeful. The road ahead is, I know, very tricky because I'm still like getting used to and like giving my brain a chance to like take in the medicine and the serotonin and all of that. So I'm just trying to stay par for the course, and I'm grateful I have people that I can call and still like vent to about like how, like, just to keep me going,
Yeah.
that to stick with it, because it is like, it's just really hard, man. It's really hard to not be able to anticipate, or like to feel like you don't have control over the way that your body is going to react to the world around you, not in the same way that you think it usually does. But hey, that means that there's a lot that I have to work on.
Yeah.
That means that there's a lot I have to talk through, and I have a really sweet therapist that I'm looking forward to working with now, who can hopefully dig in there and bring some perspective on some of the things that I've been, I guess, holding in and not taking care of. So everybody, please do your part. And go to therapy. I don't know. Like, yeah, like don't hold things in, man. Like, don't hold things in, and find support. I didn't have to reach this fever pitch. And to be fair, I know that in a past episode I did mention that I was feeling certain ways and that I was looking for a therapist and all that. So it's not like my body or I weren't fully aware that there was something kind of out of whack, but I hardly anticipated that I would, lose so much control in such a moment. And I know that there are people who are much more familiar with this, who have had them much longer than me. And I empathize with you, because this is this is a tough way to live, like, to be like this. But I'm really, really hopeful that in my line of treatment, I'll be able to effectively, like, be a little bit more in control and maybe phase out of these meds and, have better tools to help me in those moments and understand those triggers a little better, and to, like, be a little bit more proactive, because I have a lot to be, like, really grateful for, and I have a lot of people that need me to be a full version of a person, including me. I need that for me.
Yeah. Thank you for adding that, because I was going to be like, actually, no, it's actually you.
No, yeah.
It's you. Like, yes, there are other people in your life that may need you to show up as a quote unquote full version of you, but you're the one that's adding that pressure to yourself.
Well, yeah, but like, it is a motivation for me, because I don't want to, like, miss out on more than I am already, because I'm still learning about anxiety. Like, right now, anxiety, as it's been described to me, is like this little monster that you fight forever. You just kind of fight it forever, and it's never allowed for that monster to win. And I agree. I don't want it to win, because I don't want it to take over any opportunity that I might have to like, be present for my son's milestones or whatever. Like, I of course I need that for me. I could be home panicked, but I don't want to be. I want to be out in the world, present and living. I don't want to be a victim of whatever is just not working right now. But I'm really hopeful that, as far as I understand, it's very treatable, and I'm doing everything to make it so.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sorry to start on such a bummer, everybody, but it is my reality.
Yeah, and we have agreed to talk about whatever we're comfortable with talking about and sharing. And I think to a degree, just sort of like normalizing the human experience because it's murky. It's like sometimes you don't know how to manage something because you've just simply never gone through it, right? Sometimes when those things are exciting, right? Like, I don't know, maybe a project at work that you're looking forward to. So you get different jitters, right? Like you're excited and it may cause some anxiety, but nothing usually that is that crippling because we trust in our abilities to do certain things. And it also sounds to me like you have been doing a lot of things for a long time to remedy and pacify and like add. It's kind of like you're walking around with scaffolding around you constantly, but nothing is ever like fully finished, because you're just making space for something new. And unfortunately your body just told you like, hey, guess what? The scaffolding broke and it's causing all of it to fall down.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. But this is just kind of like what it needed to do.
Isn't that crazy that the body
horrible.
does that?
Yeah.
It's like in a weird way, like it is sort of like this, the grand machine of the human body is really fascinating because at the moment that it happened, as much as I knew that I had been kind of like on the struggle bus when it comes to like, I wanted to work out some demons. I wasn't feeling like my full self anyway. Like you couldn't have, and I could never have predicted I would have fallen into that. It really, like the body remembers, the body traps things in it. And, I really masked, I guess, for as long as I know how to, I had to have been, I know that I've been anxious all my life. I know that I've had anxiety all my life. I know that. I know that I probably have had depression for a long time too. But, circumstances allowed me to like hide it a little better, or I came up with things that I thought would help. And I'm a relatively healthy person in the sense of like, I don't really take prescriptions like this. I don't really drink. I don't really do a lot. I don't smoke. I try to be active. I mean, I've probably been more active in the past week than I have been more than ever, because walking and being outside has been very, very therapeutic for me. And like I've always been a person who likes hobbies, and I take up hobbies, and but the element of being a parent, I think, where you have to like literally like schedule the time in which you're going to grieve, or schedule the time in which you're going to like
do anything,
kind of capture a moment to yourself. I think that caught up with me big time. And I would never like take away the fact that I'm like so grateful to be a mom, and I'm so happy to be a mom. But it's hard. And like even all the doctors that I've seen are female. And my PCP was like the first person to be like, oh honey, yeah, that used to happen to me too. Cause she was a little older she's like, I guess like my mom's age. And she's like, oh yeah, that happened to me too. And sometimes, I still have to like, stick like a cold thing under, in the back of my head, or I have to like walk outside and whatever, but it gets easier. I promise. Like it will get easier. We all have these spouts, and like you're not going to be medicated forever. You're not going to be, like we all need a push. And even my own mom, and I don't know if she would want me to share this, but even my mom shared with me that around this age, literally like this age of that I am, or that she also found herself in that moment. And we're talking, and my mom isn't definitely the reason I don't take all these medications because of my mom. Because like my mom, not that she's like some, like she's not like a against medicines or anything, but she's like, she grew up as, she's a boomer like everybody, all of our parents, where she, you know, like grin it and bear it. Like the world is much harder than what we're experiencing here. I don't, I'm not gonna ask for this. Yeah, this is nothing. And even she was like, no, I was in a bad place, and my my gynecologist put me on Prozac for 6 months, because at the time that was the drug. That was like the new drug in the 90s. And she's like, I had to do it, and I saw somebody, and you know, I was able to work out whatever it was, and I'm not on it anymore. And yeah, but there's something about this particular moment in time, coupled with being a parent, that is, I guess, a pretty common window for some to have, like, to feel like, oh, it's all catching up to me now because I haven't been truly taking care of it.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I think, to make it about myself, no, but in all seriousness, I think I intervened with myself when I started seeing my previous therapist, because I was in a really bad spot, and it was one of those things where it felt all too common to not be in my body. Like, I just didn't know my body. I just didn't get it. It all felt way too tumultuous and all of that. And I remember in one of the first sessions I had with her, and she's like, but what makes you feel this way? And I'm like, well, it's the pattern of when things are good, you're just waiting for the shoe to drop. And I'm like, and I feel like I'm in that constant state of waiting for the shoe, an anvil, like whatever it is, something's going to drop. And then I have to, like, and she's like, okay, and what happens when the shoe drops? I'm like, I just have to, like, pick it up and do it all over again. And she's like, okay, well, have we ever tried, you know, not waiting for a shoe? Just, like, changing your frame of mind. Like, things have been good for how long now? And then, you know, which I don't think that was the best approach to it, but it sort of did give me the permission to view it differently. You know me, I stay stuck in one viewpoint. Like, I'm a horse with blinders, and I can't shift out of it. I just can't. There's also something to be said about when you're constantly in inner turmoil, you kind of also add it as your brand, because you've just learned so many ways to cope. You know, it's sort of like, okay, I know every morning at 7:30 in the morning, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to have to take a shit. And then after that, I can finally have my coffee. And then after that I'm on my way to work, I'm having another coffee. And then I get to work and have another coffee. And by the time I get to work, I have to take another shit. And, you know, you're just kind of like in this pattern of I'm actively just choosing the things that I think bring me joy, but is not actively providing me with any relief. And finding ways to get relief and just ground myself became essential to survival. I think the therapist that I'm with now has provided me with a lot more of those tools than the one before. But ultimately, for me, what it became with was like, when those tools are no longer effective, what do I do? Because I struggle with building a new tool. I need assistance, and that was also something that I learned for myself, was like, what helps me do things differently. I'm a chronic oversharer. I make no apologies about that. You know, you also have to trust your gut, and you don't overshare with everybody, but I am an oversharer, and it mainly comes from a place of, I don't know what I don't know. And yes, everybody has a different way with managing things, and everything that I'm saying that has helped me will be completely different to what is going to help you. But it's important to remind yourself why you're on the path. And it's not going to be linear. I know I've said it 300 times, to the two of you this week, like, none of this is going to be linear. I feel like the thing that will be the most consistent probably is medication, right? And the people that you see for those treatments. But at the end of the day, we're people that exist in the world, right? And you're learning what your triggers are. You may have an idea, but you're learning what your triggers are. You're learning what is going to help you have potentially, quote unquote, more successful days. Meaning that if you're currently going through 3 panic attacks in a day, let's say, how can I reduce it to 2? You know? And if it stays consistent with 3, what will help you manage them? You know, and it all unfortunately takes time, and everybody's going to have an opinion, and everybody's going to offer advice. Me putting my finger up. And because none of us, I think, really know how to manage a bad day.
That's true.
You know, we're all sort of like trying to make do with what we got. Some of us choose therapy. Some of us choose to raw dog it. Some of us go with a mix of, okay, I'm going to focus all my energy on playing video games because playing video games gives me like that plus 2% of joy that helps me keep whatever else is at bay. And it's all just really trying to figure out what works. But I think it's mainly giving yourself the permission to try.
For sure.
You know, obviously we're living very different lives. Like, I don't have kids. My time looks differently. My days look differently. The reason why I would say that I chose therapy and like have leaned into exercise and all of that is because I also realized I was being really mean to Michael. You know, like the way that we are within our bodies starts to come out in other ways. And for me, it comes through attitude and being just, there's a word for it, but like also when like replying to people, I would be very sharp. You know, like you gave me that feedback a lot. And there's moments where like when you're sitting there and you're trying to either journal or take stock of trying to figure out kind of like what a trigger is for me, it's like those are things I look back on and be like, why was I so angry all the time? Like, I know my whys, you know, but trying to figure those things out. And I would get to therapy and be like, so all these things happened this week and I was triggered the whole time. And I'm just really upset because I tried all the different things that we've talked about and none of it was working. I tried walking away. I tried going for a walk. I tried like sending myself a memo. Like I would tell her all these different things and she would look at me and she would be like, none of this is linear. It sounds like what we've been talking about, you're kind of maybe ready to learn a new pathway for yourself, or maybe we haven't fully explored why this thing is a trigger for you. And you know, you kind of like ebb and flow throughout, because it also became about, am I seeking perfection? And for what? Like, who am I trying to make happy with perfection? And you're on that path now. I'm excited for you. Obviously, this is not the way that any of us would have wanted any one of us that we love
at
to
all.
Like get
at
started.
all. Let me make this clear. Do not wait this long. Do not wait this long.
Thank you. Accurate.
Like, no, trust me. I'm excited because when I started therapy the first time, you know, a few years ago, I think I was just with the wrong therapist. I think that they weren't asking me the right questions, because what has flashed before me during all of these anxiety attacks, because they really have now manifested more into that than panic.
Okay.
What has come up for me are very distinct memories that I feel like I needed to work through. No, nothing to my former therapist. She's very sweet. But I'm excited. I really do want to have a better grasp and series of, like I said, a series of tools to help me. And I think it's good to like have an outlet. And I know that like, I think that I got away with it for so long because I had very distinct outlets, you know, because I really like the arts and I would, you know, I love to sing and I love to perform and I love to, you know, I found a lot of like ways to get through my anxiety through art, right? And when I haven't had that around, I had to, you know, like I just sort of held it. I mean, I'm sure that we'll dig into this more in therapy, but I like since I've been kind of like doing a mental inventory of like I had no choice because like in just like when you like smell something and it like reminds you of like a memory, that like when I feel the anxiety, it like triggers these very specific memories. And those memories are tied to like, you know, like, well, what did I do then? What was it that healed or helped me cope then? And I feel like, you know, especially because I was into theater and I was doing all of that, like theater has a very is a very raw kind of study where you need to like constantly be talking through your feelings. You know, you're constantly you're doing it as an assignment in class, like in front of people. I know I see Millie cringing, but you do that all the time. You're selecting songs that to sing for your showcase that align to a that you feel that you can genuinely place yourself into, so that, and you know, so I had a lot of these like fake conduits for pushing through a lot of my anxiety, and I haven't had that in a long time. And I'm not saying that like, oh, the theater will cure me, but talking about my feelings more and having that is really, really important. And I know that I can do that in therapy. And something that I have been doing, I have been trying to journal, and journaling is something I used to do, but I've never done consistently. And I find that journaling by hand or whatever can like, I don't want to be limited to that. So I actually, when you mentioned voice memos weeks ago that you would send to yourself, I kept that somewhere in the back of my mind, and I started leaving myself voice memos. So you can imagine how much I've been talking because I've
ran out of space
because I'm running out of space on my phone, man. Well, because I've also been like talking to people. Like I won't leave people alone.
Good.
So I started. Sorry, but I have been like on my walks and stuff. I'll like put my phone on and leave a voice memo for myself, and I don't know that I'll ever listen to them.
That's fine.
But I talk to myself to kind of like, you know, document where I'm feeling certain things, what I feel like, kind of doing some exploration of like, I got up this morning and I felt like this, and this seemed to help. So now I'm on a walk, and on this walk, I'm thinking about this, and I'm looking at that, and I'm smelling this, and I'm doing this, and I can feel this under my feet, and like trying to do those, like that kind of exercise. And then like, I think that I'm holding my anxiety here, and I think where I'm holding it is in this, because I'm anticipating something, and the only thing I can anticipate is this. I wonder why, like trying to talk through some of it, even though I know I'm going to do it in therapy, and I'll probably maybe keep my voice memos for some things, you know, but it has helped to like just be more open about it. And I don't know that I've really been like, I mean, I've been as open as I can be, but I mean, like you know you know me, like I'm a person that like, I tend to like carry it like hard. Like I hold a lot of stuff in me, and then I isolate for a good period of time, and I try to work it out in isolation, and then I try to come back into the world.
But you know what was different about this time? That you stayed silent. That for months you would just actually, I would say for probably the better part of a year, I would ask how you were doing, and your immediate reaction was just to deflect. So I would ask how you were doing, and you'd be like, "But how are you?" And I could talk about myself all day. So I'll let you figure this out however you need to figure this out. But it was like that constant me actively trying to get you to talk, and you just being like, but it's fine. And I'd be like, it's okay if it's not fine. I don't need you to be fine. Like,
But that's the thing. And in those moments, I did think there wasn't much to share, because the way that I've been, like, the deflection in part is to help me learn what I'm feeling, right? Because I don't in the moment know what to say.
yeah.
So like my thing is that like when I do have these intense feelings, or I'm surprised by my reaction to a thing or whatever, that's the moments that I should have been sharing more. But instead I kept them to myself and ruminated in them, and then found, like I would get over it, and then just, by the time you're asking me what's going on right now, nothing's going on, because I already in my mind had worked out whatever the thing was. It turns out I didn't. But that's how I've been for a long time, is like I have to wear I choose to wear a lot of masks, right? I think we all do. We all have like the mask that we wear to work. We have the mask we wear for our kids or for people we meet, strangers. Sometimes a mask for our friends too. And I wore many. And every mask started getting heavier and heavier and heavier, because I don't know what. Like in the moment, I didn't know why the masks felt so heavy, because I guess what I was doing was like not like the masks became heavier because they felt less connected to who I was at all.
Yeah.
And I've had a hard time connecting what it is that is making me feel so insecure with the role that I gave myself, this mask that I decided to design and to wear. And I'm looking forward to talking about in therapy. Like, why do I want to present as someone who doesn't need anybody's help? And also, I'm doing a very bad job at showing people that I don't need any help. That was a big theme that's come up for me too, is this like, so God, I'm going to TMI everybody. This might be the panic attack episode.
Please title it that.
Something that came up for me in my, like, cause like, this came in like several phases, because like there was the panic, and then there was the palpitating heart and all that stuff. And then I finally was able to get a little bit of relief from, I was able to take half a Xanax. Thank God. Because I was in such like cycle of craziness that I needed to calm all this down. And in that moment, I took that Xanax, and like I exploded with tears. Like sobbed for days. Like it felt like I was in grief all the time. Like I would walk and I would start to cry, and I wouldn't be sure what the trigger was, but I would just start to cry for myself, cry for my pain, like the cry for, like, I literally was crying for myself, like crying for the person that I have been neglecting and like is feeling so bad. And in that explosion, I had like all of the, like I my poor husband, I told him like all of these feelings that I have of perfection, like being the, the perfect daughter, being the most appropriate and best colleague and coworker and boss, and obviously being a good mom too, and being a good supportive, partner. All of that is really hard to do and impossible to do, especially when they're in conflict with each other in many ways. Like it's just, I, that was a, I mean, I knew that about myself, but I didn't know that about myself. Like, I didn't know that it was really hurting me so much to feel, to put this pressure on me to not appear to need anybody's assistance. Like, I could be everybody's assistance,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And where does that fear come from? Like, why am I so scared to ask for help? Is it because I'm scared that if I ask for help, people will be driven away because my value is to be the person who cares, not the one who's cared for? And what does that mean to me? See, these are the things that I put in my where's memos. Like, what does that mean to me? And is it because I think of myself as a caretaker and not as someone who deserves to be cared for? And why don't I think I deserve to be cared for? I do deserve to be cared for. How do I wish to be cared for? What does care look like for me? Like, I really want to dive into these conversations with somebody. I want somebody to ask me these questions and to like pick at it. And like for once, like I like even with my previous therapist, in a weird way, I wanted to be the perfect patient.
Yeah.
Like
I would agree with that with the previous therapist as well.
I didn't even like, most of the time I didn't even know what to talk about. But she also didn't know what to say to me. She didn't know what to ask. So like I'm really looking forward to just being like a raw fucking hot dog, you know, like or whatever. I don't know what hot dog came for me, but you know, cut open. I want somebody to like see me and all my parts and be like, okay, let's what am I looking at here?
Yeah. One of the things that I appreciated my current therapist did and said, like, toward the end of our first appointment was, I'm the kind of therapist where you're showing up ready and you know what you want to talk about. Obviously, there may be times where, like, we don't go through everything in one sitting. So we'll have something to talk about. But for the most part, like, you need to come prepared. You need to know what you want to talk about, because I'll ask you questions, but I'm especially at that point, right? Like, she's like, I'm trying to get to know you. I'm not the kind of person that, like, first 5 minutes, unless it's super obvious, is that I'll know how to take the conversation. For the most part, there's nuance. You know, what you may think is a trigger from childhood might actually be a trigger from 4 years ago and you didn't even know it. And I appreciated that approach, because with our previous therapist, I just felt like there were no questions really that were being asked. And it was, again, I could talk forever. So it was just me talking and kind of, at that point, it was very tumultuous for me. So I was always ready to talk things through, but there were never actual questions being asked. And that approach was very different. And it's something that I've learned that doesn't work for me. I appreciate this approach a lot more. And I mainly say it because, right, like, it's also giving yourself that permission of, you know, this isn't the first or the second therapist that you see. So you have a bit more experience about what works for you and what feels like is actually helping. And it's good to acknowledge that, like, we were showing up to be a perfect student versus someone that was, like, potentially really in crisis and needed a lot more. And we made choices to be focused on different things. I don't think that they were wrong, but we were just focused on things differently. Because one thing I've learned from, what was that, like 30-year-old Lisette to 37-year-old Lisette, is life is just life. No one's grading me. If I'm choosing to not be honest in a space where I should be the most honest, then it's only hurting me, because I'm not addressing the things that I need to address. If I show up unprepared, it's perfectly fine, but I need to own that, right? Like, whatever has been my agreement with my therapist for our sessions, like, that's the standard that I'm being held to, nothing beyond that. And that has also helped me in other parts of my life. because sometimes especially at work, I would say, I wouldn't give my honest response because I didn't want to be seen as X, Y, or Z. And at this point, I don't care. I would much rather be honest and upfront about what I view to be like from a strategy standpoint, right? Like, what would be a future concern? Or what are the issues that I'm seeing that will affect us within the next week or so? I'm more confident in my ability to figure those things out and vocalize them versus just staying quiet because you don't want to rock the boat because you may be wrong and you don't want to be wrong because like that was a lot of my stuff of like no one was expecting me to be perfect. I don't know that I was expecting myself to be perfect, but I didn't want to be wrong. And I didn't want to be wrong publicly. And I didn't want to be embarrassed. The worst thing that could have happened to me was being embarrassed. And I learned why that was. And now it's like I've learned to be okay with being embarrassing in very public ways and being cringe. I delight in being cringe now. Ugh, let's go. Make a weird voice. Do a weird noise. Say the stims that we've all learned from the 300 million memes that we've grown up watching, right? Like, because it helps me being more comfortable with being uncomfortable. I struggled a lot with being uncomfortable. You know this. I don't know that I knew that that was the actual issue before, but I know it now. And you know, one of the things that one of the ways that Ashley and I bonded when we first started going out was
our romance began.
Yeah, is that we both loved watching TV endlessly. That was one of the things that we loved.
Oh yeah,
because we had the time and it was self-soothing, and that's what we did as kids because we were both indoor kids. She probably read a lot more than I did, but I was definitely like, I'm watching TV. If there's one thing that I would have worn as like my own badge of honor was the hours of TV that I've watched, particularly of the show Friends. Which, by the way, people at work now are starting to find out how much I know of Friends, and they are shocked. And I'm like, no, when I say I love the show Friends, I'm not being like cute or whatever. I love the show Friends. So anyway, and in like 2024, I was going through like just a really hard time with work and trying to figure out what I wanted and blah, 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 blah. So I started reverting back to old cycles of comfort, meaning watching a lot of TV. And I got 3 hours in and I was like, I have a headache and I hate this. I feel so uncomfortable watching TV. I would literally rather do anything else right now than watch TV. Why do I feel that way? I didn't know why I felt that way. I was just kind of like, TV, ill. What can I do? And that was my trigger to start working out. Because I literally didn't know what else to do. I didn't have other hobbies. You know me. I didn't have fucking hobbies. I was like, for what? Sit there and color and do what? Sit there and do a puzzle. What am I going to do with the puzzle after? And I don't feel the same way anymore. And I've picked up a lot more hobbies along the way. But those are just things that like, it's my way of telling you that there will be a point where you have the same breakthroughs. And you look back on things in a much kinder light. You know, like watching TV for me was a way to fully escape certain things. It was a way for me to not think and not worry. Because it was the few times that as a teenager, I would say I didn't have a responsibility. And at 37, it's like, okay, so you've always had certain responsibilities, and how do we start scaling them back now? You know, and you know, I'm still an adult and I can do hard things, but I don't have to choose to do the hard thing first. I can ask for help. Asking for help becomes a lot easier. It's a constant practice. Like one of my work friends, she'll be like, oh, like just let us help you. And my like initial reaction is like, no, I got it. And she looks at me and she goes, let us help you. And I go, okay. But I'm gonna walk away first. You know, because it's also like certain things kind of lead you to be that way. And then once you officially let help in and then let it happen, you're just kind of grateful that someone gave you no other choice but to step in and help you. Like literally was like, we got it. We know what to do. It's fine. And I'd be like, okay, so you mean I can just chill? I don't have to, like, I can help. I can do the thing. And then when they'll be like, we don't need you to. Like, it's okay. We got it. And you don't realize how much you need that until that happens. And I'm sure it's happened to you in multiple ways in your life.
Yes.
But there's a moment where you just become more aware of being in that moment. Also, being in the moment has become a big thing for me.
Yeah. Ugh. It's gross, but it's so important.
Ugh.
I think that's why the walks have been so nice, because I am an indoor person by every stretch. And all my hobbies
Are
indoors. They're better indoors. I like artificial air. I am a big proponent for controlling the temperature of the artificial air that hits you.
Heck
Okay.
yeah.
However, like you said about the TV, like okay, I know that there's chemicals moving around, things have to change, things are moving around. One of the things that is not working for me is being indoors.
Yeah.
One thing that is really like rip my skin off is being indoors for too long. Like, I crave the sun. I have never said those words out loud in my life.
It brings me so much joy.
I crave the sun, my guy. The other day when it was like, I don't know, Saturday or whenever it was, I went to Costco. I think, yeah, I had texted you.
I think it was like Sunday.
It was like, yeah, I was very in it, very much in the fucking, I'm just waiting to talk to a doctor and I'm going crazy. And it was raining awfully that day.
Yeah.
And all I wanted to do was walk in the rain slowly with all my fucking clothes on. I needed to feel a power bigger than me. Like, we were in the car and coming home, and I just told Gabe, like, because we were like pummeled with rain, like rain, it's coming in sideways. It was awful. Like, nothing we could do would prevent how soaked we were. And then when we got in the car and we headed home, I looked at Gabe and was like, I'm gonna stand on the porch, so have a towel ready at the front because I need to stand in the rain. And he was like, okay. Okay. And that's what I needed to do. I needed, like, my body was very much like, touch fucking grass and be in the stuff. You need to stand here. And I did. I wasn't there for very long. Like, it wasn't fucking like Hillary Duff, you know. Fucking rain come down. That wasn't it.
Anyway.
But I did need to stand there and just kind of like let the universe just be like, fucking, you're fine. Like, you're fucking fine. You're feeling the rain. You're hearing the thunder. I'm gonna hear the thunder. I saw the lightning and then I went inside.
Yeah.
But I needed that. And every day this week I have been spending a lot more time like walking outside, getting sweaty. Like, the hotter the better. Mm-hmm. Like, I know, who am I? I don't know. Yeah. But there's something about the fact that, like, you're just a speck on a fucking rock in the middle of the universe that is terrifying, but also, like, super, like, helpful. It's really nice to know that, like, I can use this moment to admire the way that the wind blows through the trees. And to see a group of birds fighting for one reason or another, because that's what happened this morning. They were all fighting. and like just like smelling the different types of scents. And I haven't been listening to much. Like if I am listening to anything, everything is a little overstimulating for me. So I've been listening to like literally lo-fi everything, like lo-fi walk, lo-fi whatever. Cause like I'm like, if I'm gonna soundtrack this moment, I want it to be something without words, because I still want to be able to be present in the moment. Or I'm not using anything at all. Something else that I know that I was doing especially hard before this a panic attack was that like every second of my life had to be distracted. Like I would have my phone playing YouTube or something at all time. Like all time. Like I have something on all the time.
Yeah.
And it's how I would catch up with my shows. It's how I would catch up with whatever. But it was the last thing I wanted to do. I didn't want to like look at or be there. I didn't want to like opening my phone is like a trigger for me. Opening my phone just to like look at the texts that I've received, I have to like, I turn it off. I started adding restrictions because I'm like, I don't want to be notified of anything. I want to be able to choose when I'm looking at it to just check in and let people know I'm alive, and then I want to dip. But I'm like not on Instagram, like scrolling around. I don't want to. Like something about the like speed of it is really is disorienting for me right now. And all I want to do is like fucking word searches. Good. Janny gave me a word search. That word search book is my like in the mornings, I haven't been doing the word searches in the mornings, but in the morning, like I have to, like a plant, I need to be outside for like a few minutes, calm myself down, come back inside. But like in those moments where I need like a little bit of, where I'm like between moments, I'll just like do a word search or whatever. Like sometimes even Pocopia is too much for me. Like I can only play it in spurts because the game asks for you to do so much. So I'm like, I don't want to run to the other island right now. Like I just want to plant some potatoes.
Yeah.
I'm going to plant these potatoes. Leave me alone. Goodbye. But I haven't wanted, like I can't handle other storytelling. And that's crazy for me because I crave stories all the time. The only thing I've really done is read.
Okay.
And I've been, and what I've been reading has and has not been helping my anxiety, but it has been very fun.
Good.
And I've had a great time with it, but I've been reading it to like really immerse. I mean, like, cause I do need a break. Like I can do a lot of internal work, but I don't have the tools yet. So I don't want to sit and overthink cause that makes me panic. So that's why I've been trying to distract with lo-fi stuff. And at the very least I can read. And that has been really, really nice. But this has been so shitty. This has been such a shitty journey. But in a weird way, I'm accepting the weird gifts too that it is providing, and I can really only say that because I'm pretty sure that some of the serotonin is finally like entering my system.
Okay.
It is around this time of the day where I start to feel like myself. And I know that like this particular drug, I think most SSRIs, I think need like 4 to 8 weeks or something, or 4 to 6 weeks to finally like do its job and whatever. But in these moments of clarity where I feel like myself, I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm learning. All right. So I'm learning that that I feel good when I'm doing this. I should do a little bit more of that. All right, you know?
Yeah.
Or I'm feeling a little less anxious asking for what I need. Like you said about asking for help. Like, trust me, like one of the people that I've reached out to, who is a very close person to everybody in this room, is someone that I really, I'm really grateful that she was willing to share so much of her story, and her brother too, honestly. I don't know. I've been really dipping into this family for all their knowledge, and I'm so grateful. but like she is, I mean, we all know that she's a little bit more difficult to get a hold of because she has like her own kind of plans in place. Like she has her own things in place that make her hard to reach sometimes. But like even the fact that she's been able to that she's answered all of my calls tells me like it actually makes me feel a little better, because not just because she's helping so much and you know, but like it's kind of like further proof that if you ask for it, you very well might get it, and it won't be like the burden you think that people like that. That's my problem, is that I feel like asking somebody to take time out of their day to focus on my problem is wrong, and that I have to battle. And
let people tell you.
Right, but I've never done that. I've never let people tell me that that I'm too much or too big, and I think that's because I was probably told most of my life that I'm too much or too big. But here I am. I'm almost 40. This is why I say, deal with your shit now, guys. Deal with your shit now, okay? Deal with your shit now, and like let people tell you. You know, like I have gone out of. I feel like I give as much as I have to whoever asks for my help, because I'm scared that they won't do the same for me. If that makes sense. Does that make any sense? Like,
it sounds like you're scared of being disappointed.
I am very scared of being disappointed. I'm also very scared of being left alone. I'm being scared of like, I'm scared that of what ties my worth to these personal relationships. I guess that's what it, like, that's the weird thing about this, is that like, I'm saying this out loud, but it's like, I'm saying it out loud, like as a realization, not as like I've known this all along. It's like I think that's one of the things, because I feel cold on the back of my neck when I think about it. So I think that might be one of the things. Interesting. Like, I feel like a science experiment.
Yeah. That's how it feels. It do be like that. And then there's going to be moments where you go, okay. Like, I'm going to disappoint you. Okay, but you also haven't said anything. So I don't know that I'm a disappointment, you know? And it's also being okay with that. Being okay, like, perfection isn't real.
No, it's not.
It's this concept that we use to like keep people in these adorable little molds, and we're always like trying to leave it because we feel it in our bodies. You're super in tune with your body. And we never give ourselves the opportunity to really like grow out of it or wonder why. Like you were talking earlier about masks, like all these masks that you wear. And in my work, I don't want to have multiple masks. How I show up to every space, I want it to be consistent, because it's, for me, it's actually detrimental to my survival. Like the idea of not being able to be myself in every space is too constricting. And I actively don't know how to do that. So previously when I was in spaces where it was like, no, you got to reduce yourself because we cannot have you stand out more than all these other people. No. It's like I knew that I was not in the right place. I knew I needed to not be in these spaces, but I also didn't know how to advocate for myself, or that those were the things that were actively like bothering me and hurting me inside. But you've always been very aware of the masks that you wear and why you wear them, you know, and it's kind of like hindsight, right? Like I guess we can say we knew that they would be heavy or that they would break, and what do you do then? But those were not the kinds of conversations we were having, or like how we would want to confront wearing them, because it's also so normalized. And I think like obviously for everybody, but what my community mainly consists of is women my age. right? So either 5 years younger, 5 years older. That's my variance. But the bulk of the people I know are women my age, in my age range. And that is a big part of conversations I have. Not on purpose. It just kind of comes up, right? Like, oh, because I have to be this one way with my partner, and then this way with my parents, and then this way with my kid, or this way at work. And I like what we never talk about is who we are, right? So long way to say that, like, part of my work also is learning who I am, because I also lost myself along the way. And like, I absolutely needed to have my quote unquote Britney moment, you know, like shaved off all my hair, became really like hard, and like, you can't say anything mean to me because I've already said the mean thing to myself. You can't be meaner to me because I've already been meaner to myself. Like, it was this thing of like, you're just stacking all of this like really hard negative energy, and I was stacking it upon myself, and I lost a lot of my, like, there are things that I've recently been thinking about that I didn't realize I hadn't been thinking about for a long time, or things that like would bring me joy before that still bring me joy, but I forgot I did those things. So part of my work has been letting like younger versions of myself come through and acknowledging them, whether it's for joy, anger, sadness, whatever the emotion it is that I'm going through. If there's a version of me that's trying to come out, I work to acknowledge her and understand why she's who I need at that moment. Because I feel you, like, not knowing who you are within your own body is very scary. And it's also so normal. And we don't talk about it. So much of what we've talked about in this episode are just things that we don't really ever talk about, not just necessarily like you and me or the three of us, but I would say like in a community, like we don't really talk about them. You're finding out so much about your mom, the rest of the women in your life that like you've looked up to, you've worked with, you admire. Like, so many of them have gone through what you're going through, that I would say the following, which is, what you are going through is probably one of the most normal things that can actually like happen to us, and we never talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's a huge problem.
It's a huge problem. I talked about it with my doctor because I was like, if this is happening to all these women, why are we more vocal about it? And she's like, well, this is where the feminist stuff comes out. So all of you who are thinking that it wouldn't come up, it's coming up. Okay. 3, 2, 1. It's because, I think we all kind of know that the research that is done in women is conducted by men, or there is no research at all because men don't experience this type of consistent series of behaviors. They have their own. Yeah. Sure, they have their own.
And it's been studied.
But it has been studied.
And well-funded.
And very well-funded. And this has just not been a prevalent, like, all we know about women losing it is that there was a grand period of time where women were all just being sent to fucking loony bins.
And to the nunnery.
Right? They were just sent to loony bins, and frankly,
lobotomized.
Being lobotomized, being masturbated to death.
Yeah, burnt at the stake.
Burnt at the stake. Like, I mean, if this is, there's stuff going on in here. Like, we find, like, it took us a long time to acknowledge that we all have periods. That women, women who are born with biological parts that make them bleed will bleed at least once a month, and that has an influence over a lot of different aspects of the way that our bodies function. All right, we just finally acknowledge that. So I think it'd be nice if we also acknowledge that just like some women experience postpartum depression, rage, whatever, or whatever, all sorts of different things that are correlated to their hormones when they're going through different milestones. I think we should talk about this period too. And because I know the only thing I've seen around is this perimenopause talk where it's like perimenopause is coming. And it's like, but you're not explaining what perimenopause does. You're saying, because perimenopause is like a big wash statement for a lot of different feelings, because there's not enough research to explain exactly what happens during this period when our hormones start to shift again into our late 30s and 40s. All they say is, just like everything else, just like when you get diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome or something like that, where like so many women get diagnosed with that because the markers are like, it's like you have to like have like 4 out of the 6 markers or something like that. But it's such a broad range of things that will automatically dump you into the bucket of polycystic ovarian syndrome, because there's not enough research to explain how all of that correlates to all the things that go out that happen to the woman's body. So it's like, the fuck.
And then to help you a little bit, then we wonder.
Excuse me, now I burped.
All good. And then we wonder why it is that we are constantly seeking perfection. Because everything, like the entire system that we are a part of, where we are active contributors within that system, is not set up with us in mind.
No, it's not.
And, we grew up in the 90s where life was a little bit different, meaning that it was, whether we knew that it was bad or good is not what I'm going to get to. It was normalized for us to be in a room, and if our mothers, aunts, their friends, our abuelas, whatever, were talking about what was going on with them in the same space as men, it was always like, if there were if there were 2 or more men in that area, it was like making fun of us talking about our feelings. It was reductive, meaning that the conversation then went into like, oh, because you exaggerate everything. Like, it's not that bad. It's not this, that, the other. And it's only until recently where we're essentially like trying to engage the conversation of, yeah, we feel insane because our bodies are going through 4 different stages in a month. Our hormones do not normalize until after menopause. That is like what, 40 to maybe 50 years of our lives where we are on a roller coaster ride. And we overthink everything, and we second guess, and is this normal? It has to be normal. No, it's not normal. And we're just in this loop of being asked to exist like a man when our bodies do not function the same way.
Yep.
Biologically, our bodies do not function the same way. And just to add like a little, just like an asterisk there, right? Because sometimes people utilize that conversation to say some transphobic fucking shit. And at the end of the day, it also takes so much bravery to be around women that are continuously telling you how we never fully feel within our bodies, and you're seeking who you are in a path that is gonna also put your body through that when you're transitioning like male to female, and then in the reverse, when people are transitioning female to male, then the conversation shifts to, oh my gosh, y'all just feel like quiet. You feel balance within your bodies when you have more to stop. Like, I've seen I've seen a few YouTubes around that conversation, because I feel like from the trans lens, it's helped me understand it a little bit more as well. You know, like obviously we know men also live with like ADHD, chemical imbalances, like the same things that we're going through.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to add the asterisk of like, yeah, but we're also doing that through an experience that is fundamentally changing our bodies multiple times a month.
Mm-hmm.
There is no, like, it's like women live with ADHD that is oftentimes undiagnosed because there isn't enough research as to how it manifests in women
Mm-hmm.
or young girls. The same thing with ADD, schizophrenia, like the list can go on and on and on. And, you know, when we talk about that, it's always like, oh, you're blowing it out of proportion. It's like, how am I blowing out of proportion something that is officially like studied?
Mm-hmm.
There's data. We can look at budgets. You know, like we know that these things are underfunded and under researched, and yet you expect us to show up in the same way as you do every time and still believe that like we don't deserve to make the same amount of money that you make because society has not allowed us to actually like learn more about ourselves, because society will likely call you as the mom way before they call Gabe as the dad. If anything happens with Finn at school, it is highly likely, this is just a hypothetical, it is highly likely that they're going to call you before they call Gabe. They will likely only call Gabe if they cannot reach you. And yet you can ask for that day off, even though school called you because your kid is sick. You have to now log in when you're home because now we all have remote capabilities. Oh, but you can have a hybrid schedule to also help accommodate for the stage in life that you're at now. But then it's likely that the dude that works in your office will likely get that promotion for doing less work and having, I guess, potentially less disruptions than you will.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that this episode is mainly about our mental health and all of that, but like at the end of the day, that does add to our anxieties. That does add to the reasons why we don't ask for help, why we don't communicate these things, why we normalize what it has been used against us all the time, which is suffering in silence. But then you chastise us for that, but you don't want to acknowledge how you've literally burnt us at the stake.
Yeah. Yeah, one cannot be without the other.
Yeah.
Like it's mm-hmm.
It's a spectrum.
It's
we
a
live
spectrum.
It doesn't matter your gender. Like we all live within a spectrum of life. Some days will be really good, some days will be really bad. But at the end of the day, like I will acknowledge that we're doing all of that with other biological factors. Like it's sort of we started the race with one leg tied behind your
with one arm tied behind her back.
I don't know, whatever it is that creates the crutch in life or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially it's that. I feel like I know a lot of American idioms, but I never really know them when I need to say them.
You're doing good.
Thanks. And yeah, like it all creates this like horrible handicap for all involved, because it also doesn't allow for men to learn more about 50% of the population.
If only they had an interest.
If only it impacted them.
If only it impacted them somehow.
The way that it impacts us and the way that we move through it. And, you know, we amongst us in our group, we love to talk about how great the men in our lives are and the ways that they stand up for us, for other women, like all of those different things. But there needs to be more curiosity. Mm-hmm. And there needs to be more of an understanding and willingness to have conversations with everybody involved, because all of this affects us. You know, like if you're not good, it trickles down to Finn, and it trickles down to the systems and routines you have in place at your home.
Yep.
and it impacts the ways in which you show up and don't show up at work and in other parts of your life. And I just wish that we existed in a space and in a society that allowed for that nuance, that allowed for us to be more vocal about things. I keep hitting this thing. Talking with your hands, this is the hard part. But that would allow for these things to be discovered either earlier, or even if it's not earlier, it's just like allow for the space to talk about them. Because we're pretty decent about talking about things amongst each other. But, you know, there comes a point where you kind of stop the conversation if someone else walks into a room that you might know that they might not be comfortable with that conversation, or like it's work, so you don't, and blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the day, we're all existing in the same time period. And to your point about perimenopause is essentially the menopause before the menopause.
Yeah.
And it's horrible. And as a person that is going through it right now, I cannot for the life of me get my body temperature to do anything. I'm either really hot or really cold all the time. And I don't know when one of them is going to happen. I just don't know when one of them is going to happen. And it did say I would talk about the luteal phase. So if I may, is there anything else you want to talk about before I continue on my rant?
No, I'm thankful that we talked about it, and I was
Good.
really scared of having this out on the planet. But I hope that whatever I said has maybe helped somebody else realize that they can ask for help too, and that you find it. And I will report back after I've had a few more weeks and months on this on my medication, and let you know if it helps you to follow my journey. I will share it.
I hope you share more. I hope that it's not just months from now or whatnot. Like that was also kind of the point of our podcast, right? Like talking about where we're at in life and being honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I love and appreciate the fact that you have decided to open up. Okay, thanks. So the luteal phase. Let's talk about the luteal phase for a second, folks, because this is my grow up moment.
Okay.
And the thing is, I need the luteal phase to grow the fuck up.
Okay.
It's shit. It's getting harder in my 30s to go through that phase because it's starting to feel like it lasts a little bit longer than usual. And the intensity for which I feel, I would say, extreme emotions. Like I'm either really angry or really sad, and then I don't communicate it, and then Michael's always like, finally the moment where I'm like, I'm Michael, I'm gonna crash out, and I crash out, and he'll just look at me and be like, why can't you just say these things earlier? He's like, it's great that you are like vocalizing it. Don't not vocalize it, but my ask is that like, as soon as you start to feel this way, that you just, you know, you bring me, like, tap me in, coach.
Mm-hmm.
So my grow up moment with the luteal phase was, it was really hard this last month. For those of you that are not familiar with the luteal phase. So when you are a person that goes through menstruation, you go through 4 phases. So it's menstruation is your first, your follicular is the second, your ovulation is the third. That's usually when you're going to make a baby. And then you close it all out in the luteal phase, which is misery. It's pure and utter misery. It, like, on a confidence level, you feel the dumbest and ugliest you ever do, and everything's a fog, and you're just disgusting. Mm-hmm. And nothing you do is the right thing, and it takes a little bit more time to just recover from certain things, and you're just kind of in the state of, like, crisis. And every month you forget that you're going through a luteal phase. Mm-hmm. Every month without fail, and you're just thinking to yourself, what is happening? Why do I feel like everything is wrong and bad in my life? And that is how I felt 2 weeks ago. And I feel like I was in that phase for about 2 weeks. So I feel like I spent too much time, and I couldn't. And I was like, I feel like I had my period, but I can't remember when I had it. I didn't log it. And I'm going through all of this. And finally, it was that moment where I was at the gym and I was going through my workout and nothing was like, it was one of those where like you show up at the gym. First of all, the gym is D'd up. Too many people. Then every time you're going to do a workout, one of the machines or something, someone jumps in and then it's like, oh, can we, in between sets? No. What do you mean? I'm on the machine right now. And I'm like, first of all, it's not tied to you. You are not one with the machine in the way that you think you are, but all right, bro. Because also the attitude is nasty. So I'm going through all of that and I'm at the gym and there's a moment where I just feel the period fall. And I went, oh, there it is. There it is. The reason why I was so intense and everything was wrong and I felt insane. I really thought that like that was going to be a moment where I was going to have to like call my therapist in crisis because I couldn't figure anything out to make me feel better. I went to the gym super hard. I was going on more walks. Like I was doing all the things. And dude, like my brain was just nothing. Like it was just deep sadness. Everything would make me cry. And it was bizarre. And then I had that moment where I realized it was my period because it came at the gym. And then I was like, listen, you need to grow the fuck up. You can't keep doing this every month. Every month, the same thing. Currently in my follicular phase. Prettiest I've ever felt. Incoming. I got 2 more days to ovulation. And that's the prettiest I've ever been all month. Just to do it all over again after that.
God, so much truth was just spat out here. You want to hear something fucked up? I got all fucked up on a Tuesday with the anxiety. Got my period that Thursday.
Yeah. It do be like that. Bro.
I mean, it is, yeah. But yeah, no, the luteal phase should really grow the fuck up. I think I agree with you. But I guess it does. It goes into menopause.
For sure. But that's not where we're at right now.
No, it's not where we're at right now.
We're still very much in our, where ladies going through menstruation. And I'm just kind of ready. I'm ready for something new, something different. Because what do you mean? I still have to go through a full menstrual cycle. And my body temperature is never the same. I am hot. I am cold. I am not anywhere in between. And it is like right now, my shoulders, I'm fine. It's cool. I am so sweaty under my boobs right now. I've been sweating from my kneecaps. It's not hot in this house, by the way. It has not been. I would not say that I would classify this space as a hot space. But that's what my body's choosing to do. And I'll pick up my hair and then I'll be freezing. And then I bring it back down and then I'll be super hot. And then and I can't figure it out. And for those of you listening, I know you're thinking to yourself, Lisette, just get on hormone therapy and blah, blah. First of all, have you met me? Do you know how hard-headed I am? I'm not doing that yet. That's not where I'm at. That's not where I'm at. But it is something to consider.
It might be.
It might be something to consider, but we'll see. We'll see.
One thing at a time.
One thing at a time. But just know, anybody out there that also bleeds once a month like this, we're all in this together. The luteal phase is the absolute worst.
Yeah, we throw it out.
We throw it out.
We say, no.
We throw it out. Anyway.
Well,
that was my little moment. I'll stop now.
Yeah. I think this episode is full of moments, and I hope that it was helpful for whoever's listening.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, do you agree? Do you disagree? Have you ever had any of these experiences and want to share them? Feel free to share. And oh my God, it'll be. Thank you for listening to this explosion of stuff. And Then the next episode will probably be a little bit lighter and a little bit, we'll
Maybe.
see. Who knows? It depends. Maybe we'll record it in our luteal phases and then it will just be a nightmare.
Oh, that would be amazing. I would love that so much. That would bring me joy, actually.
We'll try that next time.
Okay.
We'll try that next time. But thank you guys for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Thanks for spending this time with us. If you loved this episode or were just here for the sass, either way, please follow, rate, and share. Find us on Instagram and TikTok at Baby Lambs Podcast.
Before we head out, we want to thank a few people who helped make Baby Lambs Podcast possible. Thank you to our producer, Millie Martin, for keeping everything running smoothly behind the scenes, Daniel Acosta for creating our intro and outro song, and Janabelle Art from Tiger House Tattoo for designing our logo and giving us an identity. We couldn't have done it without you guys.
Welcome to the Baby Lambs Podcast. Welcome to the Baby Lambs Podcast. Welcome to the Baby Lambs